It's December 27th. I'll finish all the books, so I'm gonna review all of them. Lectures. Have a listen to.
Basic training number 1. Law helps workers in gig economy.
California's State Senate is taking direct controversial business practices in the so-called gig economy, where people's jobs, like freelance gigs, don't have the same permanence as regular jobs. Lawmakers passed a measure that would make it much harder for companies like Uber and Lyft to classify workers as independent contractors who don't have to be paid the minimum wage or receive benefits like health insurance or overtime pay.
Basic training number 2. Trudeau apologizes for brownface.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was already locked in a tight re-election when his campaign took a hit on Wednesday. This 18-year-old photo emerged of him wearing brown face makeup in 2001. CNN affiliate Time obtained the photo from the yearbook of West Point Academy, a private high school where Mr. Trudeau was a teacher. And the future politician was attending a Bavarian Nights theme party. Mr. Trudeau admitted it was a, quote, racist and dumb thing to do and said he was deeply sorry.
CNN News Digest. Number 1. Quadriplegic uses brain tech to walk.
A man who lost the use of all limbs in the 4 years ago, he's been able to walk and move his limbs again. He's known as T-Ball. He's been working with virtual simulators and electrodes over years. He's now walked 145 meters. He can reach for targets with his arms. Researchers do this to obtain part of recording devices in his hand, translate brain signals into movements of the suit. Great.
Number 2. Travel company
Thomas Cook collapses.
Right now, 150,000 British tourists around the globe are stranded after the collapse of the UK travel firm Thomas Cook. The company is now in liquidation after talks to develop the outfit. The tourists it's awaiting their UK Civil Aviation Authority has started what will become the country's largest peacetime repatriation that will take weeks to complete.
Number 3. Potentially habitable planet found.
For the first time, scientists say they found a relatively nearby planet with water and temperatures that could potentially exist life as we know it. Researchers using the data from Hubble Space Telescope say they detect water vapor in the planet's atmosphere, and it's warm enough for liquid water to flow there. The so-called Super Earth is several times larger than our planet, and its orbits around the sun every 33 days.
Number 4. Driver in fatal crash claims immunity.
The U.S. Embassy will not reveal the identity of diplomatic wife involved in a fatal car crash because of security and privacy concerns. 19-year-old Harry Dunn was hit and killed in the crash. Police say the woman who has diplomatic immunity was driving on the wrong side of the road. British officials are calling on the U.S. to reconsider that immunity.
Number 5. SpaceX unveils reusable spacecraft.
SpaceX says it has developed the rocket ship that is going to carry people and cargo to the moon, Mars, and far beyond. It's called Starship, and it is a reusable spacecraft of making interplanetary trips. In a speech on Saturday, SpaceX founder Elon Musk says he wants to make space travel just like air travel. Musk says the company could test the new ship within the next 2 months. He also wants to put people on board as early as next year.
Number 6. Duchess of Sussex sues
A royal battle could be brewing in British courts. The Duchess of Sussex is suing the Mail on Sunday for publishing a private letter, and her husband, Prince Harry, accuses the paper of editing that letter to hide so-called lies the Mail had told about the Duchess. He's also calling out British tabloids for bullying his wife and compares it to his mother, Princess Diana's treatment by the media.
CNN English Express special feature, presenting a sketch of the history and current state of jazz.
The face of the protest is often faceless. These Hong Kong protesters come equipped with helmets, masks, and goggles. It's for protection from police tear gas and pepper spray, and to hide their identities. Protesters are concerned about being identified and prosecuted. Since the demonstrations kicked off in June, over 1,300 people have been arrested. Making a statement against perceived government surveillance, these hardline protesters attempted to destroy some of the city's 50 newly installed smart lampposts. Hong Kong's technology calls the vandalism a dark day for innovation.
We were driven with the misunderstanding that the lampposts will probably do some unwanted surveillance functions, which is just absolutely not true. Every function on the smart lamppost was planned, designed in an open and transparent manner. We have fully complied with the privacy ordinance, but apparently that's not enough.
The Hong Kong government says the smart lampposts, outfitted with cameras and sensors, are intended to track data like air quality and traffic flow. It adds that the posts are not equipped with facial recognition software, like in China, and the data collected will not be sent to any third parties. Raw data, the authorities say, is instantly deleted. But critics are not convinced.
When we don't have enough trust in the government, who can guarantee and who would believe that the government isn't sharing those data with other law enforcement agencies or even with China?
In the far western region of Xinjiang, cameras are used to monitor the movement of Uyghurs and other minorities. There's also concern about China's upcoming social credit system, which seeks to grade and label citizens based on their behavior.
China may operate under a legal system separate from Hong Kong, but protesters believe the smart lampposts represent the beginning of Hong Kong's own surveillance state.
We don't want to cover our faces. What we're seeking and what we're asking for is something very noble. We're on the verge of becoming a police state. We might be persecuted for what we say.
On the front lines of the protest, umbrellas are often used to block security cameras and provide cover for those vandalizing and unscrewing metal railings and building barricades. Protesters have also covered security cameras and even used laser pointers to distract the police. In these times of deep suspicion of the government, it's hard to imagine the smooth rollout of any smart data collecting network in this city.
If they don't put people first, if they put technology first, I don't think it will ever be successful.
The government plans to install 400 of the lampposts in 4 urban districts, starting with the first 50 in this neighborhood, the scene of a chaotic battle against the government and against technology. Christy Bustad, CNN, Hong Kong.
This is our data, the scientists clear. We are in the 6th month of extinction. We will face catastrophe. Do not act swiftly and robustly. We, in alignment with the consciences of our reason, declare ourselves in rebellion against the government and the corrupted institutions and the threat in our future. Call upon every peaceful citizens to rise with us. We refuse to bequeath the dying planet to future generations, but failing to act now. We act in peace, with ferocious love of these lands in our hearts. We act on behalf of life.
This is the call to arms that has inspired thousands worldwide to join Extinction Rebellion's colourful plan of civil disobedience in protest against the lack of action on climate change. Their message is clear. Act now, or future generations will suffer. Here in South London, people of all ages are circling the atmosphere of Extinction Rebellion Festival, including those who have the most to lose from climate change.
What could we do
to make our clean again? Fossil fuels. We should stop using them. Ban all non-eco-friendly commercial advertisement.
I'm concerned because I want a future for my little brother. He's only 5, and I'd like him to reach the age of 30 without having to worry about the climate crisis. And what about those who don't care? What do you say to them? This is your future. Why don't you do something?
Today's youth activists are more connected and more aware of the risks of climate change than any previous generation. Inspired by climate activist Greta Thunberg, these kids are determined to have a say in the future.
Children are
The people who will be affected by this. The children, people who are growing up in this world with the pollution and cars. Tensions in the climate crisis grow. The rise of youth activists Children know about these things, and they do actually hear. They should be everybody's listening. And despite the gargantuan task ahead of them, these kids have hope that they will succeed where previous generations have failed.
I hope
the climate change in the future
is going to
be something
that is
in the myth, and grandparents can tell their grandchildren about how a group of activists and realize the change needed to be taken to save the planet. And we need to make our stand and make sure that our voice is heard. Becky Anderson, CNN, London. Our voice is heard.
What was once just a microcosm in a small area has spread tremendously.
We're on the streets of San Francisco neighborhood called Summer, short for South Market, home to tech giants like Twitter, Uber, and Salesforce. For a few years now, an local restaurant owner has been documenting the city's homelessness problem. It doesn't feel like we're in America right now.
It's like third world squalor.
His images depict the grinding despair and sadness of a problem spiraling out of control, not just in San Francisco, but throughout California. In Los Angeles, you find tents lining entire city blocks. The numbers are staggering. Nearly 60,000 homeless in LA County, a 12% rise in just 1 year.
Everywhere I go, people are outraged. They're angry about what's happening on the streets. It's no longer a coastal issue. This defines the state of California.
No matter which
No matter which locale, you hear about the same problems.
Skyrocketing rents, not enough shelter beds or mental health services, and rampant drug usage, exacerbated by the nation's opioid addiction. In San Francisco, these images shot directly next to one of the most well-known courthouses, the Ninth Appeals. Fresh data reveals the homeless population here has spiked 30% since 2017.
This city has
so much wealth,
and yet
we see so much poverty and suffering and death on the streets because we have the means to be able to help people, but we don't have the political will. San Francisco Mayor London Breed, elected last year, has made tackling homelessness her signature issue. She's added more than 400 beds, helped 1,600 people exit homelessness, and has cracked down on tent encampments. But residents, tourists, and workers alike continue to see the problems daily.
You're going to see it more
because it's in the area where a lot of people walk, a lot of people catch public transportation. You see it more because it's in the center of the city, it's downtown, it's in the UN Plaza, it's mid-market. You just see a lot more because it's right in your face. In decade time, she's headed the stool, the dedicated team to clean up human waste. Adam Mesnick, who helps many of the people at the counters do food conversation, says he's impressed to our
It's one thing on television, it's one thing in the movies,
but this is the real life.
And real life
San Francisco, the streets are really tough right now. And the problem is growing faster than the city can fix it. For every person the city gets into the house, another three will wind up homeless. Dan Sam, CNN, San Francisco.
CNN newsmakers today considering Facebook's plan to launch a cryptocurrency and doubts about its handling of political advertising.
Facebook CEO Mark
Zuckerberg
spent the day on
Capitol Hill making one of the boldest speeches yet. And the social website should be allowed to launch a global cryptocurrency called Libra. When I saw that, I was impressed because I told them Washington to block his plan. The US could lose its standing as a right financial leader with China moving in. We can't sit here and assume that because America
is today the leader, that it will always get to be the leader if we don't innovate.
But some fear that Facebook's digital currency could upend the global financial system and make the company even more powerful than it is today. Josh Constein is the editor of TechCrunch, and he followed, of course, this testimony closely. And in terms of Libra itself, Josh, where do you stand? Is it just another competitor on the cryptocurrency file, or is it innovative?
It's very different than most cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. There you gamble and you hope the value of the coins goes up. Whereas Libra is designed to stay permanently stable, and it is
is innovative in that it's using this broad approach of bringing in all these different companies. But the problem is that Facebook is still at the core, and it's not the kind of company that people want launching a cryptocurrency or potentially endangering the global financial system.
Nothing proved that more than Zuckerberg, again, having to answer questions about the way it's handled elections in the past and the way it will handle them in the future.
Under your policy, could I pay to target predominantly black zip codes and advertise them the incorrect election date?
No, Congresswoman, you couldn't.
But you said you're not going to fact check. Would I be able to run advertisements on Facebook targeting Republicans in primaries saying that they voted for the Green New Deal? I mean, if you're not fact-checking political advertisements, I'm just trying to understand.
I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head. I think.
So you don't know if I'll be able to do that?
Josh, he seems confused about his own policy there.
Mark Zuckerberg simply doesn't have a great argument for why it should allow misinformation in political ads, especially given the ads don't make Facebook that much money and cause it great controversy. It has repeatedly claimed that this policy favors challengers instead of incumbents, yet we've seen that it's the richest voices and the biggest incumbents that spend the most on Facebook ads. And I worry this could lead to an arms race of political misinformation in campaign ads, where people say increasingly terrible things about their competitors and say, only I can save society, donate to me now, and then just buy more ads, spreading more lies.
Benjamin Boaz presents My 30-Year Love Affair with Japan, a personal reflection on the allure of Japanese pop culture and subcultures.
Hi everyone, I'm excited to tell all of you that I recently did something I've wanted to do for a long time. A few Sundays ago, I attended a performance by the wonderful Tokyo Philharmonic Orchestra in Yokohama. But they weren't playing their usual classical repertoire. All of the music performed that evening had been composed by a man named Yasunori Mitsuda for two video games, Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross. As you may have guessed, I absolutely adore these games. Chrono Trigger came out in 1995 and is my favorite game of all time. It features a teenage boy named Chrono who travels through time with a colorful cast of companions that save the future. Created by industry veterans Hironobu Sakaguchi and Yuji Horii, as well as famous manga artist Akira Toriyama, it's still known as one of the best role-playing games of all time 25 years later. I still remember how I'd come home from school every day and rush to finish my homework so that I'd have as much time to play as possible. And then, in 2000, as a senior in high school, I did the same thing with Chrono Cross, its sequel. It's hard to express just how amazing it is to attend a concert of music from your favorite video game. For one thing, I don't even think I knew such concerts existed before I moved to Japan. On the evening of the concert, as I watched Mitsuda-san take the stage before my very eyes to greet the hundreds of fans before him, all of whom love Chrono like I do, I still couldn't really believe what was happening. It was a night I'll remember forever. It's probably safe to say that I would never have had this experience if I hadn't studied so much Japanese. But then again, I would never have studied so much Japanese if I hadn't fallen in love with Japanese video games like Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross in the first place.
CNN special still speech, presenting the emotional address given by teen activist Greta Thunberg at the United Nations Climate Action Summit in September.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams, my childhood, with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you? For more than 30 years, the science has been crystal clear. How dare you continue to look away and come here saying that you are doing enough when the politics and solutions needed are still nowhere in sight. You say you hear us and that you understand the urgency. But no matter how sad and angry I am, I do not want to believe that. Because if you really understood the situation and still kept on failing to act, then you would be evil, and that I refuse to believe. The popular idea of cutting our emissions in half in 10 years only gives us a 50% chance of staying below 1.5 degrees and the risk of setting off irreversible chain reactions beyond human control. 50% may be acceptable to you, but those numbers do not include tipping points, most feedback loops, additional warming hidden by toxic air pollution, or the aspects of equity and climate justice. They also rely on my generation sucking hundreds of billions of tons of your CO2 out of the air with technologies that barely exist. So a 50% risk is simply not acceptable to us who have to live with the consequences. To have a 67% chance of staying below a 1.5 degrees of global temperature rise, the best odds given by the IPCC, the world had 420 gigatons of CO2 left to emit back on January 1st, 2018. Today that figure is already down to less than 350 gigatons. How dare you pretend that this can be solved with just business as usual and some technical solutions? With today's emissions levels, that remaining CO2 budget will be entirely gone within less than 8.5 years. There will not be any solutions or plans presented in line with these figures here today, because these numbers are too uncomfortable and you are still not mature enough to tell it like it is. You are failing us, but the young people are starting to understand your betrayal. The eyes of all future generations are upon you. And if you choose to fail us, I say we will never forgive you. We will not let you get away with this. Right here, right now, is where we draw the line. The world is waking up, and change is coming whether you like it or not. Thank you.
So far, it's already been 21 minutes. So I'm gonna stop it. The full review will be tomorrow.